Okay, this video might be a little long, but Chapter 1 is titled The Essentials of Geometry, and all of this vocabulary and notation is important and will resonate through the entire year. So I've gone ahead and created sort of an example page. You'll need to do practice 1.1, numbers 1 through 27 all. Won't take very long, but you should do them all. It's good. Again, it's good practice learning these initial points, lines, and planes, initial concepts of geometry. So I'm looking at a plane here. A plane goes in all directions, but we represent it physically by almost like a piece of paper in perspective. In this case, I have plane R. Plane R is written with an uppercase italicized letter. Points are written with uppercase straight up and down letters. And lines can be named by lowercase italicized letter. So one of the questions might be, give another name for line. This is the symbol for line, PQ. Now we have to, if we're going to name a line with points, we have to use at least 2 points. You could say line QP. It's the same thing since it goes in both directions. And another thing you could just say is line N. If I had another point down here, let's say QRST U, I could say line UQ, line UP, etc. Plane R. In order to define a plane, I need at least 3 non-collinear points. If I said line SPT, that would, or if I said plane SPT, that would only define this line. I haven't yet gotten to that second dimension. So another name for plane R might be plane SVP or plane PVT. All of these points are in this horizontal plane, and they're 3 non-collinear points. By the way, you will be working in pencil. Since I created my sheet in pencil, I'm writing the answers in red so you can see them clearly. So I was just talking about collinear points, 3 points that lie in a line. So S, P, and T are collinear. Any 2 points are always collinear. Just because there isn't a line through SV, S and V are collinear. T and V are collinear. SVT would not be collinear, but would define plane R again, plane SVT, etc. Coplanar points. You need at least 3 points to define a plane. So SVP are coplanar. SPQ are also coplanar. In this case, it's just a different plane. Whoops, Q's off the page. Notice that line N is intersecting the plane, so it's coming down through it. So if I had a vertical sheet of paper, if I had something vertical coming down through, that would define that plane SPQ. Any 3 points are coplanar. And the way I like to think about that is if you have a stool with only 3 legs, that stool will never rock because it'll always land on a plane. 4 legs, now you might have rocking. 4 legs, but only 3, always sturdy. So any 3 points are always coplanar. So if I say SPV, those are obviously in this horizontal plane R, and then I try to throw Q in there, all of a sudden that's not coplanar. Another set of vocabulary words are rays and opposite rays. I'm going to zoom out. So a ray has one end point and heads in one direction. So I would indicate ray PT like that. Ray PQ is another ray. I could have ray QP, that's a different ray. QP starts here and goes this way. So opposite rays have the same endpoint but go in opposite directions. So ray PT and ray PS are opposite rays. And then finally we have segments. A segment has two endpoints. So SP is a segment, and a segment congruent to that would be PS. Again, PV could be a segment just because we don't see it, but could I put a segment in there? Yes. That's kind of the abstractness you hear about in terms of geometry. Some other things, the problems might be slightly different on your practice, but same concept. So if I have two lines, PR and HR, where are they intersecting? HR and PR are intersecting in point R. The intersection of two lines is a point. Or if they're the same line, they have an infinite number of intersections. How about the intersection of plane EFG? That's sort of the top of this block. Again, these are planes, so you have to think about them going on forever. HEFG and FGS. Well, this vertical plane and this horizontal plane intersect in a line. Again, it's going to go on forever, so they intersect in line FG. And are PQR collinear? Absolutely not. Are they coplanar? Yes. Any 3 points are always coplanar, even though it's kind of easy to see that these all are in that bottom horizontal plane. Any 3 points, coplanar. 3 planes that intersect at point E. So here's point E. What are the 3 planes intersecting there? This top plane, so EHF, you could call it any 3 of these points. This plane right here, PRH, and then this front plane right here, which is PEF. So those 3 planes are going to intersect in a single point. These are kind of fun. Sketch plane J intersecting plane K. So the easiest way to do that is to have, I'm going to use pencil, is to have a horizontal plane and then have a vertical plane. And there, draw line L in plane J that oops, what did I say? This will be K. That'll be J. And line L is in plane J, but only intersects K in a single point. Now these guys intersect in that line. So if I drew a line L like this, it would only intersect K once. We'll call that point I. Draw 3 non-collinear points, J, K, and L. Sketch segment JK. And add point M on JK, anywhere. And then sketch ray ML. There you go. Now JK is part of a line. Ray ML is part of a line. but specifically in these instructions, that's what they asked for. So hopefully that gives you a good start to points, lines, and planes.